Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Movie Pop, and today we're finally here. We're ready to talk about the latest Marvel Studios film, Spider-Man: Far From Home. So this is going to be the conclusion of the MCU Phase 3. It also sets the stage for the MCU Phase 4. So let's get down to the plot of the story, okay? So this is starring, obviously, Tom Holland as Spider-Man, Samuel L. Jackson as Nicholas Fury, or Fury for those who really know him. Basically, Spider-Man is recruited by Nick Fury and Mysterio to combat elemental forces from another dimension. It's directed by John Watts, who is also the writer and director for the former film Spider-Man: Homecoming. This film also is currently holding a 92% rating by critics on Rotten Tomatoes and a 97% rating by audience members. The film score also scored by the amazing Michael Giacchino. Enough said there. We've got some star power. We've got some star power in every possible facet of the production you could possibly imagine, and this film obviously does not disappoint. My expectations going into this film were just baseline Marvel expectations for some top tier Marvel action, comedy, everything you would come to expect from Spider-Man. And of course, after watching this film, I'm gonna have to say this film definitely is it's a fun ride. I really enjoyed watching this film. I will have to say though, much preferred Homecoming as a self-contained story and just as a film in general. I think it really held its own. And a lot of the shock value and a lot of the shock value that came from Far From Home actually happened with the end credits, which I heard were super amazing, the best end credits that Marvel has done to date. And of course, that's true. I felt like Homecoming, there was a particular scene with the revelation of who Michael Keaton played, which was what was his name? The Birdman.
Literally the Birdman? The Eagle or something? I don't remember, to be honest. I just don't remember.
Okay. Anyhow, when Michael Keaton was revealed in the first film, it was like this big, like, shocking moment, like, oh my god, whoa, like the tables have been turned.
Yeah.
I didn't get that kind of shocking revelation in this film, of course, with the exception of the end credits. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about this. Lawrence, what were some of your expectations and your impression of this film?
So yeah, the trailer depicts a story of the film, and I think the trailer does a good job because it doesn't like tell you too much, and it leaves a lot to be desired. So I expected pretty much what I got from the trailer. So going into it, I expected the regular Marvel formula, and it pretty much delivered on that. So I was pretty happy. I told you earlier, I didn't really, the first one, it's not that it was like bad or I didn't like it. I feel like there was a lot of fluff in the first one. There was a lot of developing Spider-Man because it was his first movie. So I think it was kind of slow for me. Not necessarily a bad movie, just probably not my cup of tea. I like this one more. So like I feel like this one had more of an impact on me. Like I enjoyed it more because I had more of that, like, action boy Lawrence coming in, like, it got me there. So it was good. Yeah. So I had high hopes for this movie, and I feel like it pretty much lived up to my expectations. There wasn't anything crazy. Like it was not like I watched and I was like, oh my god, this is totally different than what I expected. Oh my god, this is just the word. Like it's a Marvel movie and it delivers a Marvel movie. So with that, let's just jump right into those pros.
All right. Well, hey, it's gonna be a spoiler review. So for those of you who didn't see the title of this video, or didn't see the thumbnail graphics saying this is a spoiler review, this is your last chance. This is a spoiler review, and hence the pros and cons we're going to mention are going to dive deep into this. So with that being said, this is my biggest pro for this film. I love the fact that Marvel Studios subverted our expectations for what the plot of this film was, what the plot of this film was, by manipulating what our expectations were through the trailers.
Oh yeah.
So like you said, they set it up as Mysterio being this interdimensional human being from another alternate universe of Earth.
Yeah.
And because we had just seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, for us as an audience, like it seemed totally plausible and acceptable and something we were used to. And they played on that and subverted our expectations in the best way. Looking at you, Ryan Johnson. Yeah, so I love that. I love the fact that I got a shocking surprise. And of course, now I'm kind of contradicting myself because I'm saying I didn't get a shock. But I wasn't so shocked by it, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nice. It was nice to see the twist, but I wasn't like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I got you. Well, it's weird because
beyond
like
that, though?
in the trailer, like I'm like, well, Mysterio, like they don't really tell you what he's doing. You kind of like, because there's not that. They show clips of him, but it's very faint. I'm like, I thought he was bad, but he's like fighting what Spider-Man seems to be fighting. So is he like a neutral character? I was kind of confused, but like it's a good confusion. Like you want to be confused in the trailer. You don't want to know like the entire plot of the movie. So it was good. It's cool. But I guess I kind of expected that because I'm like, well, I know he's a villain, so I don't.
Right.
Like, well, I was watching the movie. I was like,
that's-
so what's gonna happen? You know?
Right. Yeah, I think that's what did it for me. It's because I didn't know what the twist would be, but I knew that there would be a twist because I knew Mysterio as a character in the comic incarnation obviously has some ulterior motives. So I expected something coming. So when that revelation quote came, it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not what I expected, but it was something different. So
Right.
that's probably why I wasn't as shocked. by
Yeah.
it. Beyond that, though, my other pros, it just boilerplate, competent cinematography, like writing, integration into the MCU, all that stuff. Yeah.
I thought the CGI was it's very easy to underappreciate. Sorry, do you have any more pros?
No.
Okay,
no, that's
just
good.
I'll shift into mine because I don't want to like take up your. If you had anything else to say.
Yeah, for sure.
But like I thought the CGI was pretty spectacular. I saw the end credits because you got to stay for the end credits. I read through all of them.
Right.
I mean, this is Industrial Light and Magic, and they did a fantastic job. I feel like the CGI in this was really complex because you're basically a lot of Mysterio stuff is like he's using real life holograms to basically make you see what he wants you to see. And it's just like there's like these elementals are like the part where it's like half being phased in and out because like he's destroyed the cameras. Just like, man, like some of that stuff I'm just like, that is probably some really complicated CGI. So I mean, hats off to them. A lot of those scenes are great, like even when he's like falling through the building, Spider-Man, and he's fighting him, and like you never know what's going on because Mysterio is so confusing. Just like really good stuff there. I thought that was really impressive.
I do want to add one thing to what you're saying because now that you mention that, I remember watching some behind the scenes footage about for the pre-production.
Yeah.
And a lot of those scenes shot in Venice. Obviously, when you think about it, they couldn't really do that like on site.
Yeah.
So a lot of that was shot on green screen.
Yeah.
And just seeing the comparison between the two, it's like, wow, like that totally looks like they're actually there.
Oh, yeah.
And in reality, for the most part, I think they weren't.
Yeah. I don't know what they did exactly. You probably know more than I do, but I know that in the credits there's a lot of Italian companies, so they must have done something in Venice or used something from there. I'm not sure. But yeah, I thought the action was great in the movie as well. Another one of my pros. I thought the action scenes were great. There were there were a lot of them. Like it wasn't like, oh, there's one action scene in the beginning, one at the end. You pretty much have to wait the entire movie. It was like nicely spread out. Because I don't like the whole movie to be action. It's nice to have breaks. Thought it was well put. Like the action scenes were nicely placed. I actually really liked Mysterio as a villain as well. I put that Mysterio was a great character. I think I like him because he ties so well into the previous Marvel movies. Wasn't expecting that. I really like how him and his crew are like, we hate Tony Stark, he messed us up, and it shows you like the history that they have. So really cool. Love seeing those kind of connections because it really ties the MCU together. Like that's why we watch these movies, So excellent job there. And I just really liked, I feel like in the first movie, Spider-Man was just your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. It's nice to see that they're finally trying to make him like, you are a hero, like you are not just your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, And like he never really was. He just says that, but like we know. Like, bitch, please, you've been to space, you know, like, yeah, like it seems like they're really trying to make him. I mean, I don't know if they're going to, but he's like the next Iron Man. Like, he's gonna be like the next main, maybe for the next phase of the MCU. Maybe they might make him like the main, like the Tony Stark type character. I don't know, maybe, but it seems like they're trying to at least make him like a lot more of a main hero character than like a secondary hero, if that makes sense, you know, like really bring him to the forefront. And that's pretty much all I got for my pros. I don't know if you wanted anything else. Otherwise, we can just move right into those cons. Anything we didn't like about the film?
Move right on in. All right. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I was very entertained by a lot of the comedy in the film.
Mm-hmm.
But never gut-bursting comedy, and not that I necessarily got that from the first film either, but I felt like the jokes in the first film landed a lot better for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll give you an example. In the first film, they have Hannibal Buress as the gym teacher, and they have this sequence where Captain America is doing like a PSA for a gym video. Yeah. And he has this line where he's like, yeah, I don't know, I'm pretty sure this guy's like an international criminal, but I'm gonna play it, so whatever. Like, it's just like, I don't know, it was a bit more like witty, for me anyways. It actually made me laugh.
Yeah.
This film, and like, God, man, I love JB Smoove, and I was really excited to see JB Smoove in this, but a lot of his jokes that didn't land for me, and yeah, and like, dude, I know he's a hilarious comedian. He's one of my all-time favorites. If anybody watches Curb Your Enthusiasm, you know that guy like kills it on that show.
Right.
And I think part of the problem with a lot of the comedy too is like they kind of fell into this whole, I think it's a Marvel trope where you'll have these sequences where there's some sort of dramatic tension or suspense, and then they undercut it with comedy. So an example of this would be when Happy had all of the high school students, and he's kind of like trying to, you know, get them away from
like getting the jet
harm, from danger. Yeah, like after the jet blew up, you know, and like, so I think Mysterio has a drone like following him, and it's shooting down the door and all this stuff, and it should be like a very tense moment, like a very serious moment, and like all four of them are all like cracking jokes as like death is literally like knocking on their door, you know. It's like those kind of things, like, really, are you gonna like be making quippy like one-liners while like you're nearly facing death? That that didn't really work for me a lot of the time, unfortunately. But it wasn't so bad because it's kind of expected. It just felt like it was more than what I'm used to.
I feel like it was like the comedy was just meant to make you chuckle. Like, that's really all it got out of me. I was like, okay, cool. It wasn't definitely no gut bursting comedy here. There was just or like the Peter Tingle, you know, like Peter Tingle.
Peter Tingle. Yeah. They're
like it's all haha. Yeah, like a chuckle. That's all you really get.
Right. Yeah.
Do you have any more cons?
No.
Okay. So one thing that kind of bothered me, not a huge con, but I felt like it was a little long. It wasn't like too long. Like it's almost right. Like, I feel like it's 2 hours and 10 minutes. I feel like this movie could have been just right under 2 hours. I think it's a symptom of like there's kind of two stories being told in this. There's this fake story of the elementals, and then Mysterio shows that like, hey, it's fake, and then they have to fight Mysterio. So I think it elongated the story. Not a terrible con to have, to be honest. I think it's just a symptom of the story itself. Because I think I wrote that the pacing was fine. The pacing was fine, but the movie just felt really long. And yeah, I don't know. Not really long. Like I said, a tad longer than it should have been. I would have liked it a little bit shorter. But yeah, I mean, I feel like some people won't mind that, and some people, you know, some people don't like it, some people like it. So for me, I'm just, you know, it just made me a little bit like, holy crap, get to the point at certain parts. But it wasn't like, oh, this is the worst, you know, like just a minor gripe. And I think that's pretty much it. I don't know if you have anything else you want to add. Those are our thoughts.
No, not necessarily. You know, I'm gonna throw something out there, and it's kind of a pro and a con.
Okay.
And it has to do with the end credits. And this is like, kind of like my issue with the movie, is the fact that the one thing that had staying power for me, and the one thing I wanted to talk about the most, and the one thing that I was affected by the most, was the two things that happened after the movie was over, and it has to deal with the end credits. And I feel like that's kind of an issue.
Yeah, like the most interesting
like,
part of the film for
stands
you
on-
was the end credit stuff. Is that what you're saying? Like those are
Right.
they are
Yeah.
big. They are
And,
very
like-
big things actually. So yeah, I know.
Yeah. And seeing the end credits too completely changes the context of like the film you just watched as well.
Oh yeah. I
So-
feel like if you didn't see those, you'd be missing out like pretty
You'd
badly.
be missing out.
Yeah.
You would.
So
Yeah.
definitely stay for those end credits. I know this is a spoiler, so if you're even seeing this, you probably decide, but go back and see it if you haven't when you have a chance. Definitely see the end credits.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
They're definitely amazing. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
J. Jonah Jameson coming back with the fucking DailyBugle.net. Oh, like
.net.
did not expect that at all.
That was
Much
great.
less
Dude,
the
he's
Daily
totally
Bugle
that
coming back.
character. He's as much that character
Yeah.
as Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. Like that is just
Right.
so spot
Yeah.
on. He's so that character.
And hats off to Kevin Feige for bringing back J.K. Simmons as the actor for that character. That was expert executive decision there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm curious, now that we have the pros and the cons, before we wrap up here, with the end credits, like I said, this completely changes the context of the movie we just watched. It is also like such a fundamental like stepping stone for laying the groundwork for Phase 4. Because this is obviously this film is the conclusion of Phase 3. Now the end credits launch us into Phase 4. We see the final end credit scene with the Skrulls obviously being the doppelgangers for Nick Fury and Maria Hill.
Yeah.
Where do you think this is going, Lawrence? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I honestly have no idea. I saw that and I was like, what the heck? Because I don't even know where was Nick Fury? Where was he? He's like in space? Why?
Yeah, we're thinking it might be Sword. For anybody who's familiar with the comic books, it's basically like the second iteration of S.H.I.E.L.D., but they have more of a focus on extraterrestrial threats and are very, very front-facing kind of force to defend Earth, as opposed to how S.H.I.E.L.D. was more terrestrial-based.
Right. He's sipping mojitos, though. He's like on vacation, dude. He's checked out.
Yeah.
You know?
Where my shoes at?
Yeah. We see my shoes.
Right.
Yeah, like he's on vacation, man.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm right there with you, man. I have no idea where we're going, especially, we have Peter Parker's identity revealed. We have Nick Fury in space on the with Sword.
Yeah.
Wow. Great. I mean, great setup, because I have no idea where they're going to take this, and
Yeah.
I'm very curious and very excited.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it looks cool. I'm just confused, but hey, it looks good. So keep at it.
Anything else you want to add?
No, I think we're good.
No? Okay, well, we'll end here with the scores. I'm going to give it a solid B rating, which comes out to, 4 bags of popcorn?
Okay, yeah. I feel like solid 4 is gonna do it for me as well.
Right on. All right, guys. Well, hey, listen, if you want to see more awesome movie reviews, trailer reactions, make sure to follow us on social media. You can find us on Instagram at MoviePopOfficial, on Facebook at MoviePopOfficial, and of course on Twitter at RealMoviePop. And
as always, guys, your support means so much to us. Just liking, subscribing, commenting. We want to hear from you guys. It's always so great. And as always, thank you so much for watching.